When shooting video, don't fight the light. Use it. One of the most common visual problems with interviews is backlighting. In this shot, Christine looks like she's in the witness protection program. There's also a plant growing out of her head, which is a little distracting. But the bigger issue is that you can barely see her face. That's because the background is so much brighter than Christine's features. In this case, the problem is a window, but in other settings, it could be a lamp, a sign, or anything producing or reflecting more light than the face of the person you're interviewing. This shot has better lighting. We can see Christine's expression, but the background is bad in other ways. This plant isn't growing out of her head, but it appears to be looming over her. And unless the story is about what to do if you're locked out, that whiteboard is a distraction. Now look at this. With a simple change of angle, moving either the interview subject or the camera or both, that same bright window light works to our advantage. We can see Christine's expression as she speaks. There's also more depth to the background, which is usually a good thing, as long as it doesn't distract from the focus of the interview. In a badly backlit situation, your best option is almost always to change the angle of your shot, or ask your subject to move so you have a better background. If that's not practical, you can add artificial light, and if it still doesn't look great, then change the setting on the camera from auto iris to manual. That'll allow you to set your exposure manually for your subject's face. The background will be overexposed, but the face of your subject should be properly exposed. Now, doesn't that look better? Really? Here's another helpful technique. Try not to do an entire interview all on exactly the same shot. As soon as you hear a bite you think you might use,
No, I grew up in Russia.
change your shot. Make it tighter or wider, or maybe even move the camera to a different angle.
I like something that's engaging, that I don't have to just stare at the computer all day and do nothing.
Don't look down on the people you interview, like this, or up at them, like this. Unless there's a good reason not to, try to shoot people at about eye level. Use the rule of thirds, and position subjects so that they're looking into the shot, like this, not out of the shot. That might mean setting your shot, then stepping over to the other side of the camera so that your subject looks across the lens at you. Try not to have everybody in a story facing the same way. Whenever possible, put some depth behind your interview subject. Don't put people up against walls.